Wow, taking corners is so weird on here. Alright, what is up YouTube? Today I'm riding a 2023 Can-Am Ryker Rally Edition. This is a 3-wheel vehicle from Can-Am. This is the 900cc model, so it's a smaller model. It's definitely a lot smaller than the Spider up there. I sat on both. This one definitely feels like more of a sport bike, whereas that one would feel more like a Harley street glide or road glide cruiser. I've never ridden a 3-wheeled motorcycle vehicle before like this, so I'm just test riding it today, seeing how it goes. Why not, right? Alright, so let's talk about the Riker here. There are no hand controls for the brakes. The brake is only done with your right foot here. So there's only one brake pedal to push, and it controls all 3 wheels. So that's really interesting and different from the motorcycles. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go around here. I feel like I have to lean into the turn and really push on the steering. There's no power steering, obviously, so... Alright. Okay, so it's got a little bit of power. So we're going around the corner here. The slow corners aren't too bad. So yeah, the throttle's very smooth. It doesn't give you a big hit of power right off the bat. This vehicle has an Akrapovic exhaust, so it does have an upgraded exhaust because of the Rally Edition, and a nicer seat. So the seat is actually very comfortable. There's only one seat on here, so you can't really fit a passenger on this model. So if I snap the throttle right here, so it's fairly quick. It doesn't have that torque hit that you would expect. It does have some nice roll-on power. The power does have to kind of build up. Now this does feel a little weird going down the road because I feel like it's wanting to go left or right on the handlebars. I don't know if you can see it, but I feel on the handlebars it's kind of moving left or right at all times. It's trying to stabilize itself. Alright, so taking off from a stop, you just give it a little bit of throttle till the transmission engages, and then you just give it more throttle to start going. So very easy, and you will also notice that there's no clutch, no gear shifter. I mean, there is a gear shifter, but it's just forward and backwards. So this is an automatic transmission vehicle. So keep that in mind. Here we go. We get up here. And let's go around here. So I feel like I have to lean to keep one of the wheels down. I don't know if I actually do or not, but that's what it feels like. Kind of weird. All right, so we're in rally mode. Traction control is off. And he said it speeds up the transmission a bit, so let's see. Now typically when I see these things going down the road, any 3-wheel vehicle, I don't really have the urge to buy one of these. That's still to be determined, but I just looked at them and it doesn't seem that fun to me. Like if I'm gonna be out exposed like that, I want 2 wheels, right? I don't know, this is pretty fun so far. You kind of get the feel of being on a motorcycle without actually being on a motorcycle, and it's a little bit different in the riding style too. So on the left side here there is a lever that controls front gear and reverse gear. So you push that forward to go forward, and you pull it back all the way to go in reverse. Yeah, going around corners, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like one of the wheels is gonna come up. It's weird to me still. Now they don't give you much for technology here. I mean, there's traction control, but you see this screen, it's very basic. We got a temperature gauge. It tells you what gear you're in, forward or reverse, and a gas gauge, RPM as well. And for the price, you're not gonna get a ton of technology really. This is just kind of a standard base model. Now the Rally Edition is a little bit nicer than the actual base model, but so probably more city oriented, whereas that one up there, the F3, could probably cruise for quite a while. So far very easy to ride though. Definitely different than a motorcycle, so you have to get used to having 3 wheels versus 2. But it's very easy. You don't have to shift, you don't have to balance anything, you don't have to worry about front and rear brake. It's all together. I think Can-Am is going for ease of use in this one, but also a little bit fun, right? We want a little bit of fun here. It's pretty quick. That Akrapovic exhaust sounds pretty good. It's a little bit quiet for my taste. I think I would still want louder. I think this vehicle has about 80 horsepower. It's going to be close to one of the slower, maybe Ninja 650-ish power. But the way the power is delivered is completely different. This one is a lot smoother and just roll-on power versus an instant torque hit. I don't know how it judges what RPM it's going to be at, because I don't really know how the transmission works. I don't know if it's CVT or sequential. I don't feel any shifting, so I think it's a CVT. Now I chose to ride this one instead of the F3 because this is more sporty. I feel like this is the one I may gravitate towards if I were to buy a 3-wheeled vehicle. So I do like the smaller frame size of it, probably a little bit better handling. Now I would like to see the 1300cc engine in the F3 put in this one as well. Whoa, get the... Huh. I almost got attacked by a bee. That's a massive bee. Yeah, it's pretty quick. It doesn't feel all that quick because the power is so smooth, but it is pretty fast. It'll pick up speed very quickly. I'm gonna do a right turn this time. I feel weird turning right because the throttle's on that side. So you see, it has to build up power. Suspension helps, so it's not so stiff going around corners, and you feel like I think with the suspension the way it is, the way it's softer, I don't feel like one wheel's gonna come off the ground. Now the rear suspension is actually pretty soft. I don't feel like it really affects handling because we have 3 wheels here. It's pretty soft. It soaks up the bumps really nicely. Now this is going to be a lot heavier than a normal motorcycle because of all the extra parts. So 80 horsepower, 900cc engine. It's a good amount in this vehicle. It's hard to compare to a motorcycle just because the motorcycles are so light. I'd probably put this more around the Ninja 400. If you're really revving the Ninja 400 out, I would say the power and acceleration is probably going to be comparable to that. All right, I'm going to drag my knee on this. Dragging my knee around this corner. Here we go. Oh wait. What's interesting is I haven't once reached for the clutch, so I guess it's not that bad to get used to. And I haven't once reached for the front brake either. So I feel like I can get on this and pick it up very quickly. I'm gonna say it. I'm having fun. Is it more fun than a motorcycle? I don't think so. The motorcycle's gonna give you a little bit more dynamic riding. Yeah, the brakes are, wow, the brakes are pretty good actually. Alright, so I was sitting at a stop there for a few minutes, and it's kind of a warm day out today. It's probably around 80, and I don't really feel a ton or any heat coming out from the engine bay below my legs, so that's nice. I guess there's some kind of heat dissipation on here. Alright, so the seating position is pretty good actually. I feel like I'm sitting straight up on here. I do have a little bit of slack in my arms, so I'm not fully outstretched, but it is a pretty comfortable seating position. Now it is somewhat of a clamshell because my legs are all the way front with the foot controls here. Now before we left for the ride here, I asked the lead rider if we were gonna ride in a staggered formation, and he was a little confused. Naturally, when I do test rides or group rides on motorcycles, we always do a staggered formation, but on these you can't really do staggered because they're so wide. You can see how much that one is taking up the lane there, and so you can't really ride side by side. You can't, it's hard to ride staggered. It's kind of, you either ride side by side in 2 lanes, or you ride front and back like this here. Wow, we're going pretty fast. It doesn't feel like you're going that fast on here. I feel like because it's 3 wheels, it gives you a different sense of speed. So going around this corner with a little bit of throttle, yeah, it feels good. You definitely have to get used to the way it feels going around corners though. It's kind of a weird, unsettling feeling, like you're gonna tip over almost. Okay, let's talk about safety again. If you hit a stationary object, there may be issues for you, obviously. Now, I feel like it is safer going around corners just because it's hard to tip over. The other thing is the visibility. So when people see you coming down the road, they see this big wide vehicle. Whereas a motorcycle is nice and skinny, it can play tricks on your eyes. If you see a motorcycle coming down the road, you may not actually register as a vehicle. Whereas this thing looks like a car in the front. It's got 2 wheels in front. I feel like people would be better able to see this. It's more visible, so it could be safer in that regard. Now this one doesn't have a windshield, but you can always put a windshield on these. And there is quite a bit of wind blast. I'm only doing 55 right now, and there is quite a bit of wind blast. I haven't really noticed. I've been so focused on just riding. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. So actually it's got some good power to spin the wheel, but remember it's only 1 wheel, it's not 2, so you have less traction than usual. Look at that thing, that's interesting. That guy waved. I still don't like taking corners fast, so that's, I don't know if I'd ever get used to that part. Just feels weird. And it still feels weird to me going around a right turn because the throttle's on that side. So you really have to push the handlebars and manage the throttle at the same time. Maybe that's why they made the throttle so smooth. Because you have to manage, you have to kind of manage both here. Alright, full throttle. Now the power level and the throttle response together is kind of nice. You're not going to hurt yourself with this level of power and this smoothness. It's just so easy to ride. I think beginners, if beginners are looking to get into motorcycles or 3-wheeled vehicles, I think this is the perfect starting point. Maybe even the base model of the Ryker as well. Yeah, it still feels weird to me. Still feels, I really have to push. I'm using like all my muscle power here to really go around here. Yeah, I'm really pushing. It's hard. I could always slow down too, but yeah, that's strange. That's definitely different. Okay, so I think we're wrapping up the ride here. In summary, this was a lot of fun. I think if you're looking to get into any type of riding that's not in a car, motorcycle, or 3-wheeled, vehicle, I think this is a perfect starting point. The Ryker is exactly what I think you should be starting on. Yeah, you can definitely spin the back wheel pretty good here. So yeah, like I was saying, very easy to ride. The throttle is so smooth, so that makes it great for a beginner learning. The power is not going to hurt you. I think it's just the right amount to have fun. Oh yeah, going around corners there. It's a smaller vehicle, so it's pretty easy to manage. And it's got a good amount of power. Not going to blow you away, but it's got a fun amount of power. You can do some fun things with this. So yeah, overall I really like it. Personally, I would probably want something with a little bit more power, just because I come from the motorcycle background where they all have a ton of power. I think beginners would love this bike. Maybe even intermediate riders would love this as a three-wheeled vehicle. It's definitely a lot of fun and a great price. I think these are around $10,000. That's a great price for something like this.